Welcome to Slam. Stress less, automate more. This is the podcast for busy professionals who are done with burnout and ready to reclaim their time. Whether you're working remotely or stuck in office traffic, we're here to help you work smarter, automate the boring stuff, and actually enjoy your day. Each day, we break down real workplace challenges and give you no fluff strategies to boost productivity, simplify workflows, and keep stress in check. So each week, we tackle real stuff, those everyday work headaches, and show you how to handle them with smarter systems, sharp strategies, and a little bit of tech magic. Before we get into today's topic, let us meet the crew behind Slam. Let me introduce myself first. I'm JR. I've spent years working with some of the biggest BPOs in ID Park, deep in the world of quality operations and operational excellence. I've seen what works, what burns people out, and where the biggest productivity traps hide. I'm all about helping teams simplify, automate, and build workflows that actually work. Next, let's hear it from the next crew. We have KB.
Thank you, JR. So I'm KB. Been in industry for more than a decade too. I'm with JR before, and I learned a lot. I mean, a lot from him. So I started from a customer service up to team manager, handling operation. Also been in automation for business consultant position, and I've been into multiple big BPOs too, and now transition in a virtual remote job. So that's all about me, and let's meet our one partner today. We have FC. FC.
Hi, Slammers. My name is FC, and as I've been in the BPO industry for almost a decade as well. Throughout my career in the BPO sector, I've had the distinct privilege of again navigating through a multifaceted landscape, wearing not just one hat, but diverse hats. I have experience with training, quality, reports analyst, operational excellence, human resources, recruitment, IT, lead management, you name it, I've done it when it comes to support roles. So that's why, trust me when I say Slam isn't just a solution, it's a lifestyle. JR?
All right. So for today's topic, it will be all about AI. Now, last couple of weeks ago, we talked about our very first pilot episode, Gemini versus ChatGPT. So we've identified, various strengths and ultimately leading up to, GPT is still up, but Gemini is slowly trying to take over, right? And then just last week we've had a very very insightful topic by KB all about applying as VA. Now, for this week, we will hear from FC. He will be the host for today's podcast, and we will talk more about since our last podcast how Gemini has been. Right. Now
Thank you,
let's
JR.
over to you.
Thank you, JR. So, when we last talked about Gemini, we were talking about app scripts, and we'll still be talking about app scripts, but a more upgraded or a better way to automate your productivity or anything you can think of. Me and JR have been, or even K has been in operational excellence. And remember the time that we needed a tool, we needed an app to find out this and that and that and this. But the problem is we cannot get a programmer, or we can't afford a programmer to create that app for us, right?
Yes.
Especially when we have ideas about how to boost productivity. But how can we improve if we don't have the data first? So that has been always the problem with how if process improvement managers or process improvement associates or practitioners or Lean Six Sigma practitioners are having trouble problems with. Even when we were at quality assurance, right? Uh, what you usually do was to create a scorecard or form via Excel, right? Yeah.
True.
Then move forward to Google Spreadsheets. We use forms, which is made it faster, better to create scorecards. Now, what I'm going to introduce to you is a very how can I say this, robust or the best way to use Gemini in your organization. But a bit about a little bit of history on this. I remembered a few years back, Google purchased AppSheets. Are you familiar with AppSheets, JR or K?
Yes, yeah.
No.
We sometimes use AppSheet.
Right. So
Yep.
AppSheet is this no code app building app basically, and they purchased it for I don't know how much, but they purchased it, and it was supposedly going to replace Google Apps Script and Google Spreadsheets. Hey, let me show you my screen. So bless you.
Thank you.
Uh, Me too. I have the cold. That's why my voice sounds like this right now. It's been catching fire. So if you can see here on extension, you see app sheets. Uh, you can use app sheets. It's a very user friendly tool. It's a very user friendly tool to create apps. But not knowing, here comes AI to do even better building of apps. How? By just doing this. Hey Gemini, write me a Google Apps script using Google Spreadsheet as the database. Make it a web app. I want a script. Once a user clicks on Start Task, a timer begins and ends with the task completed. This includes a field wherein the user can input the lead ID. Then every 10 minutes, an alert will pop up asking the user if he has any difficulty with the tasks. Phrase it to sound nicer. Button will then appear contact supervisor or continue with the task. If the user clicks contact supervisor, an email will then be sent out to the slampodcast@gmail.com. If user clicks continue, the task will advise user that another alarm will be sent 5 minutes from now to check up. So, thinking, thinking, loading, loading. So I read from the get go. It tells you what to do. So create a new Google Sheet. This will be our database. In the first sheet, create headers like lead ID, start time, end time, task duration. So lead ID, start time, and time, saturation, minutes. Then Google AppSheet, open app script, replace the default code script, deploy. So what I'm going to do is this. Create this, copy this, click on app script, um, copy again. Then it says to create as well the HTML and name it index. Copy the code, paste, save. At first, you need to run it or debug, just to get the authorization or the permissions. It is very important. Advance, go to untitled project definitions. Uh, Continue. All right. This project was access to your Google account. Yep. Already allowed that. Again. Okay. That's
There
good.
you go.
Now, once that's okay, you create new deployment. So you click on new deployment, web app, me, anyone, deploy. So what this does is create a web app for you.
Nice.
So my name is already out in the open, so you don't have to call me FC anymore. So here you should go. There you go. It's a simple right for now.
Does
Later,
it
okay, let's say
record?
it definitely does. Enter task. I place in 10 minutes. No. Let's try to change it to a more. Uh, we can 60,000. But anyway, let's say this is it, and task completed. Then it shows that like that. Now here's the kicker. You ask Gemini, can you make it look aesthetically pleasing with colors of red, white, red, white, blue, and yellow for the Philippines. Make the buttons uh, pop here, pop out, pop out. Font is JR's favorite, Calibre, and it does it for you. Uh, Waiting. Don't make a mistake of not waiting for this to load, because your whole script would be incomplete.
Incomplete.
Okay. Ayan. Index. Share. Save. Then if you'd like to test it out before you create a new deployment, you can test it out. Oh.
There you
Red,
go.
white, and blue, and yellow.
Perfect.
Right? So what if you want to add more stuff? You just have to tell Gemini, hey Gemini, I want to add this and that and this and that. Or how about what do you want to add, guys? With this productivity.
Task type,
Task. Task
diba?
type.
Yep.
Let's say we have two task type. Let's say
Oh,
urgent
actually,
and non-urgent.
Add.
actually, if you look at the lead ID, or what
Oh,
was the lead ID for? I think it's the task ID, no. But you can.
the lead, yes. Well, basically, yes, but the lead ID is always there. Is gonna the unique identifier is always gonna be there. This can be used as a way to link. For example, if you have a database of all the,
Yeah.
let's say, database or leads, let's just put leads. Then that's the lead ID. Lead ID, and with the lead ID, you have the customer name, phone number, and what else? Let's say this is just that. Then surname is Mang Gubat. Phone number 0919 919 9199. So this is a way you can link. You can put it here, or you can add it to Gemini. So Gemini. Sorry. On the same sheet name leads has the database for all leads. If a user inputs a lead ID, show the corresponding information. Customer name, located. Uh, Sometimes again you need to be really specific. Column B of sheet name leads and phone number, and also you need to be exactly the same. If it's all capitalized, then all capitalized. Column C of sheet name leads. Uh, Add also a toggle or option or what was that again? Task type. Task type with two option. Urgent and uh, urgent and not urgent. Let's say like that. So enter. So okay. So I'm gonna leave every versions of what we're doing here. Index. Save and test deployment. Okay, non urgent, urgent. So the lead ID.
There.
Wait. Oh no, wait. We didn't put the. That's why you need to be very specific. Um, on when the information would pop up. So we didn't put anything or in a trigger. Uh, when it will pop up. So let's see. No, yeah, we didn't put a trigger. So, but anyway, yeah, you get the gist of it. So this really would work. It really depends on how creative you are in creating your own app. Um, especially on what the needs are for your organization or company, and especially if you're in a company that's just started or a startup company. This is very important. Right now, what I am creating is a somewhat like a break tool to show us if that particular agent is on break. It will be break, then light the color, for example, green. If it's break, if it's on lunch, it will be blue, and something like that, like a workforce monitor, but by using just this Google App script.
Right, for those of you who are
Then
watching, lang, ask if you have any questions, just leave it in the comment and FC will answer that. Go.
as much as I can, I'll answer all your questions. Um, so one thing as well, what we didn't do here is that we didn't also input what happens if you end task, right? So it stays like this. Uh, so we need to tell the app script now. Once user writes the lead ID and press start task, fetch, and show the data or display the data in leads sheet. And once user clicks on end task, clear uh, all fields. Then let's also change the time so we can see what happens to the alert. Because I placed in 10 minutes. Let's do 10 seconds. Oh, oh, where is the time? Okay, 10 times 60. Okay, 1 minute. Social couple try 1 minute.
So here, you don't really need to. to be master of the codes, but at least if you have an idea, you can also edit it, right? It doesn't mean that you know every codes here, but at least you know where to find, right? I mean, you can just read all the codes and you will be able to identify it, right?
Yeah, and I think that's something you learn in with constant practice.
Yes, correct. Along the way.
Oh no! I think I broke it somehow. No. There. It's above the. Sorry. This is the one. Or if you can do it, just say instead of 10 minutes. Oh, it's. Oh. So the reason why, again, Gemini would, for me, it would be better than GPTs because of these integrations in their workspace. Though ChatGPT can create codes, but without the app script for your platform, um, the building of the, the app itself, and without the spreadsheet as your database and other stuff that you need to build an app, you just can't do it with ChatGPT. You have to add different other tools to create that app. But it doesn't mean that Gemini has is um, perfect. It has its also its limitations when building an app. Mm, I think the end. Mm. So when you are in bit of trouble or whatnot, you can always do this. Like for example, this our app is not working. Yeah, Gemini. In the start task button doesn't work, and the lead ID info did not display on screen in the app. So he would fix it himself. Yeah. Um, so while again, um, the only limit to this is your imagination, especially in if you want to check your team's productivity. Um, this is the best way to use Google Apps Script.
And you can enhance it from time to time, right? Especially if
Yep.
you want to capture certain deep dive or certain behavior, you can also add it here. So from time to time, your project, you will update it, right?
Yes.
You can.
Um. So our script's not working again. But if all else fails, usually what I do is create a new chat, which I don't know why it's not allowing me to create a new chat. There you go. New chat. Um, I will just say fix or shorten my code. Just fix or shorten. Because at times you need to shorten your code, especially if you've already placed in a lot of functions on your code. Then you need to add more. It will really take a long time if you keep on adding and adding and adding more scripts, more codes. See if this still works. Oh, yeah. No, that's why. Mm, that's why develop deployment or need to save your deployments. Anyway, if you get stuck, then you can go back. Well, yep, but that's for me. Though there's still a lot of things that I need to fix with this, but you get the idea of how this can really change the game or change how you work or slam your workplace.
All right. So I guess we'll head on to the second half of this episode, which I guess you guys are excited about. All right. So thank you very much, FC, for that very in-depth walkthrough on how we can use Gemini in tandem with Google Sheets and AppSheet. So that was just one example, and like he said, it's only imagination. Use your imagination when coming up with stuff. So that's for you, reports analyst or TLs from mean you cannot exercise this in big BPOs, I guess. But for those who are working in small to mid-size centers out there and are really like eager to prove and get promoted, learn AppScript now, right? So we're just talking about using AI. Like you mentioned a very good point, F, about how we can uh take advantage of the AppScript. Although you might encounter some errors or some things that you cannot anticipate, right? So what do you do in those cases, Kay?
Yeah, there will be errors along the way. I mean, especially how you command the AI, and you might think earlier, I don't know how to fix it, right? Unlike FC, he knows what to do. He knows all this code. do not just think about it. You have the AI. All you need to do is tell the AI whatever that you have encountered, and ask him to, or ask the AI to fix it for you. It will eventually identify the error and it will be fixed. So what FC did earlier, he did manually fix it because he is already familiar with the codes. But if you are not familiar with the codes, whatever error you encountered, just put it to the AI like what FC did earlier. It will not start. So just type there in your AI that it did not start, fix it, then it will fix it. You just need to be specific. Uh, AI can do everything as what FC mentioned earlier. You can do as far as your imagination can go. So just I ask AI. The key there is the right command. I think that's it.
Yep.
The right prompts.
Right
Yes, the right prompt.
prompts and be more specific as possible. Even to the point that you're telling it to. I think there was a good video of that. How programming instructions work. There was a father who's teaching his kids, a girl and a boy, write me instructions on how to eat peanut butter and jelly. There was a video of that. So if you can be as specific and as detailed as possible, that would be better for your AI and your app in the future.
Right. So
All right. So I think you just have to really use your imagination. But what if the person using does not have imagination or likes
then
to
there
cut
will be
code?
another AI for that hour. So
Diba?
Eh,
So like this guy who likes to copy everything, but off of Google. I can't find I can't look for other examples. I like to always go back to that uh incompetent manager who's running for or a position in the office. He's always my best example.
yeah, what I can recall is he's really good at using Google because we don't have AI during that time. And I mean, it's okay to use Google as your reference, especially if you find something good. But as much as possible, do not take out the credit, right? Give some credit to the person who really creates it. Dili ka ng amino ni mo na, "Ako naghimuan eh." Because eventually people will know where you found it, right? And you might not be looking good. Is that the one, right, JR? That's the person?
Right. I think he just wants to look cool so that he can get the girls and so
This is
he at work to get girls.
this is some common problem in a BPO industry. I mean, especially in a BPO industry, there are really people that somehow we call it what do you
Predator.
call that? Not really the grabber type. What do you call that? The achievement grabber something.
Event grabber.
Uh, yeah. Especially if I mean it's common for those top management leaders. Like someone did it within his team, but he tends to grab the the light or the success. This is to make them look good to the upper management because they know that they are incompetent, right? And to solidify or to keep their position. Sometimes na-hire lang siguro sila out of politics or sometimes na-hire lang sila kinangilad silang resume. It's very common, right? Um, Common that let's say here they've been to the previous company as a PRT training. A PRT trainer is somehow you're still an agent role, but from time to time you're doing refresher course. So partly you are part of the training team, but you are not a full-fledged trainer. You resign, you move to another company, and let's say you're a PRT trainer for let's say 3 months. So you move to another company, you put there on your resume for your entire duration of that company. Let's say you've been with that company for 3 years, but you've been a PRT trainer for 3 months. So you put there for the entire 3 years that you are a trainer. So you get hired, but you lack the skills, right?
So yeah,
So that's
95% of your tenure is you're an agent, or
correct.
98%, the 2% is the PRT, and then you use that on your resume as if you spent the whole thing 100% as a PRT.
Yes, that's correct. That's what they usually do. Um, the problem now is your skill because you got hired as a trainer. The question there is if you have the skill to be a trainer because you lack the experience, right? So let's say you stay there for the company again for at least a year of in 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 training, then another 2 years as a let's say you're a POC to lead the team. Then when you move to another company again, you just disclose it or that you're a manager or a training manager. So there you go. You still have I mean lack of training or experience as a manager, but you got hired, right? That's a problem now because you lack the skill of a trainer at the same time as a leader. So the question there, how can you mold? How can you develop your people now as a training manager? So that's that's usual for for a BPO company. They don't know because they got promoted by jumping from one company to another by lying on their resume. That's a problem now because you don't know how to develop your people. If they have issues, you don't know how to address them because you haven't experienced it firsthand.
Right.
So now they might be thinking, I mean, they know this because you can fool anyone, but you cannot fool yourself, right? So you know that you are incompetent. You know that you don't know how to do this. So what you tend to do now is you're trying to how do you call that FC? Can I bitaw? You're trying to prove it bitaw na karapat dapat ko na position, but how you can do it by stepping
Yeah,
I mean, especially someone within your team.
right. Because you skip a lot of levels.
Um,
You skip the being
mm,
the actual legit trainer. You skip being a senior trainer, and then you skipped being a training supervisor, and then the actual position itself, the training manager. You skipped a whole lot of roles from a temporary like intern PRT or something, and then to jump to a manager. There's a lot of skill sets that you should learn, but you didn't. Yeah.
mm. And the only thing that you know what to do is to bring them down to your level.
And
Correct.
to engage in politics, to suck up to the boss, make sure that they're pleased enough to not scrutinize your work, and question your capabilities. So you hire very skilled people, you build them up, and then take their credit for yourself.
I
That's
think it's it's common, but mostly those people are dili sila correct, and they are not willing to learn because they're trying to kanang improve lang sa or kana bitong they want to think bitaw na kana bitong kanang they don't want others to know about it. But there
yeah.
are also people like that. I mean, this is their way of climbing the corporate ladder, but they are eager to learn, right? So once they
Mhm.
get the position, they listen to both sides. So they learn it from their team. At the same time, the team can learn from him. It's a mutual learning. But usually, what happen is they will not, right? I mean, kita gid nila na, "Uy, manager ko na, ang sobrang guni mo, I will not learn anything from you." But to think there's a lot of people even lower than you are, but more experienced than you are because they don't want to to climb the corporate ladder. I mean, I've experienced this during my work as in a travel industry account. Travel industry is this is my first time I have encountered this or work in a industry. So although I am a their leader or their superior. But in terms of processing everything like GDS, Saver, I don't have idea, right? So this is what happened now is a typical that TL ka na mo pero may paminimo mo process B. And that's something that I don't want to happen within the team. So I listen to my team. Uh sometimes if I have nothing to do, I sit down, I take over their task. Oh, you can teach me how to do this. Diba? This is for you to know what's really going on a ground level ba? Because how can you coach your team or your agent if you don't know the process, right? It's hard. How can you develop them? So let's say here, for you also to have a first-hand experience, let's say here, if you're coaching about EHT, you just coach them, but you don't know what's going on, what they went through. So for me to learn, I asked them, teach me how to do this. Okay, how about this? How about this? Okay, I'll do the next task. You just take your break there or go down and smoke. Anyway, you're still online because I'm taking it over. So but over the time, I learned how to process those cases. So I have an idea. I have now some experience that can tell them what you teach. What you I mean, what I have learned from you is ingani yun ang process, but I found a better way in order for us to lessen your or lower down your AST. So now you have something to coach or to develop because in terms of doing it, they are the best person to do it. But you're already on that position as a leader. So let's say here, naging advantage gamay, right? Uh, kanang mga technique, how you can lessen it, or let's say murag body mechanics in terms of processing things. You're very good at creating those because your experience ba, from because the different type the difference between being a leader and as an agent is as an agent you just do what you ask to do, right? That's it. But as a leader, I know even though it's a short time, you already created something, especially the proactivity, right? Being proactive, right? So let's say here, you are now, even though that you're working as an agent, you are now being proactive. Like you're looking for a way how you can lower it. But if you are an agent, I don't think you can create. I mean, think most agent cannot think of that because they are tend to focus on their KPI only by doing what is to them.
being asked this.
Mm.
Yeah, and that's part of a core leadership principle is to walk the talk and not being afraid to get down to the front lines and doing the actual work. I think that's part of leadership. And very common traits that you've mentioned earlier, Kay. And I think it's a lot prevalent also in most bigger um centers, especially one of the centers that just got acquired. Remember, you have a very good history with a company that just got acquired.
Yeah. Just
So,
acquired how many times?
are
No.
they the one that acquired that acquired the company, or were they acquired?
They were the one who is the buyer. They were the buyer.
Ah, okay, so they're the one who acquired a new
Yeah.
company.
Small company. Yeah.
So the downside to that is, their culture is going to get expanded to that newly acquired company. So I know
I agree.
I know this kind of this. I have a friend who works there, and he works in a specific department, and he's just a rank. He's nowhere above a senior of his role, nor a team lead at that. But every week he's asked to make the reports and present it to the managers. Well, this guy who doesn't have really concrete plans in terms of uh building him up, my friend, there's no concrete like promotion. He's just being abused to create reports for him, to show up at meetings. I don't know uh how that how common that is in that company, but that's one good example of not just just not having the skill in your job, and but really just using your direct reports for your own good.
Correct. So
It's,
agree. There's
it's gonna
go ahead.
the thing is that when it comes to merger or acquisition, the first ones to go are always the ones on top. But since the company that that is the one who's acquiring smaller company is the bad seed, or the toxic one. I pray for those people.
Um, that's still depend, to let's say here, uh, if ever they will replace those management, that's a problem. But if they are still have the same management team, that would be okay, right?
Well, most
Uh,
likely, what happens during uh like for example, these two companies have the same have uh, VP for operations. You can't have two VPs of operations. You can only have one. So there's gonna be a fight to keeps who keeps their position. That's
agree.
why when it comes to mergers and buying, or mergers itself, the top ones usually are the ones that goes out first.
Yeah, correct.
We
So
we just hope that the non toxic one stays.
It usually the good ones don't stay that long to begin with. Right.
Correct. Right. So I mean, okay. So we have one with a previous organization. I know that you are higher management now, right? Let's say here you are a senior operation manager, but I know how you're able to climb the corporate ladder in a one BPO from from an incompetent um quality manager. Because what happened is he was able to, I mean, the company hired him as a quality manager because he declared that he's a, a, a quality quality manager at a certain organization. But if you're really going to look at is it's somehow like it's not it's more on a I mean title, right? There are title like for a team manager, right? So basically your function is to handle a team, but you disclose it you're a manager of of a of a cluster, so something like that. So it's the same. So but the problem is he doesn't have background in quality because most of his background is as a yeah in operation. So the quality was sucks during that time. Lisod gi kayo, it doesn't know some ideas about how to run quality. So there was an opening in an OM role for operation. So he really did a lot of things just to to move to operation. So he was able to move to operation. But the problem now, he doesn't have an idea, right? He might think that operation is simple compared to quality, but operation is much more
Complex.
complicated
Yeah.
yeah, complex compared to quality. So he is there now. So his I saw some. I mean, I joined some client meeting. My God, what ginagadimaho, he doesn't know because what JR mentioned earlier, same anak ba na utilizes his people in terms of creating his deck because he don't know how to do it. So ask someone to create my deck like this. But the problem with that one is you don't know why the deck is like that. You don't know the numbers. I mean, you cannot just talk to the client in the sake of presenting the number if you don't know where it came from, right? So there's a question now from the client, and he failed to answer it because he has no idea why is the percentage is like that. He doesn't know uh, how to get it, right? How did you compute the percentage? So he looked to the uh, senior operation manager, and the senior operation manager doesn't know the answer. So, ni bow down lang, ni tanaw sa ubos. Then, you can really see sa video ba na tanaw na po din siya sa director, and the director ginibow down sa ulo, so meaning doesn't know the answer until the client got frustrated. We've been into this partnership for more than 3 years and still you cannot answer my question. Do not wait that we will lose our patient. So that's what the client said. And after that, since we're the only vendor partner, for a few months, there are five now. So to make it short, he's not really competent on what he's doing. So he got promoted as a senior operation manager. Uh, Despite all of that, because there's no operation manager for Cebu team. So he moved from Cebu to Manila. His reason why he wants to be a senior operation manager because he wants to move in Cebu because he's from Leyte. It's near from him. So so they granted their I mean his
his proposal. So para dili ako siya mag-uli-uli, dili na ko na siya mag-leave, mo-move na siya sa Cebu kay para dool na lang kayo pangilaha sa Leyte. So he got the position. So there are trainings along the way. But every time there's training for leadership, the where I mean he's supposedly to join, like for example, Lean Six Sigma, uh, uh, COPC training. Because if we do COPC training, I mean the proper way is it should start from the upper management, right? You cannot train people COPC all on the team leads, right? Because if they are trained, how can they COPC compliant? How can they organization to be a COPC compliant if the upper management is not trained, right? So every time there's training, there's leadership training, COPC, those things. He always said, I don't need to join that. I'm already a senior operation manager. I don't need it. I'm already a senior operation manager.
Mm.
So, trying kay paminawan for us other leaders na we all joined, but our senior operation manager did not join when we talk about it. Like we have some project in line with Lean Six Sigma or in line with COPC standard. My God, what's your idea? So tendency, he will not support us. And he might think that I'm already a senior operation manager. I don't need to know all those things down. It's wrong. Because how can you, as a senior operation manager, you're here to strategize for the entire organization or uh, or let's say for your an account, for your account. And how can you create that strategy if you don't know what's going on a very ground level? So
Right.
common kini nila ng mga style bitaw na di nako kinahanglan na kay dako na ko ranggo.
Mm.
Bugo.
I don't
That
know.
sounds
They
like
always
someone who really got promoted without having any skill. And then the arrogance.
Yeah,
why
yeah.
why do they always think that when you are at top management, the less things that you do, or yeah, it's usually the higher
The other
the
way.
role, yeah, the more
You should be
responsibilities.
shouldering more responsibilities, yes. Mhm.
Yeah, they always think climbing the corporate ladder make your life easier, right?
Really not.
That's oh I mean true
Quite the
for the
opposite.
pay. Yeah, true for the pay, but if you really care care to your if you really care your organization as you climb the corporate ladder because you want to help, not the other way around to boss them. So this is now a typical comparison to be a boss or to be a leader, right?
Right. Right. Thank you so much for those wonderful insights. And that's exactly why we have these podcasts to help up and coming leaders or even leaders that are still struggling or finding their way to how to become a more productive person. Like, at the end of the day, as an employee, ask yourself, is the money that I'm being paid for really worth it? Right? So that's why we have these sessions, and we'll continue to have these sessions. Um, for those of you who just checked in, we're towards the tail end of this episode, but you can catch us on our next episode, and you can subscribe, right? But for now, that is a wrap, guys. Thank you for listening. And if you made it all the way here, thank you. And we hope you're walking away with fresh insights, practical tips, especially with Gemini, Google Sheet, and AppSheet. Right. So and maybe even a little inspiration to take back control of your work day. And tomorrow's a Monday, so you'll be back to work more energized. So whether you're tuning in from home or in the office or somewhere in between, just remember it's not about working smarter, not harder. Now, if you enjoyed this episode, rather, be sure to follow, subscribe, and share it with your team. Got any ideas or feedback or a topic you want us to dive into? Reach out. Would love to hear from you. Until next time, keep slamming your way to a more productive and stress-free work life. Bye-bye.
Yeah.
Bye.